What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning a potential international slugfest between Tszyu and Bud Crawford. Guys, before we get to that, we know what it is this week. We know it's fight week in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. Sebastian Fundora steps in on very late replacement notice to take the spot of Keith Thurman. Thurman exits the fight with Tszyu due to an injury. In steps the towering Inferno. Tszyu must get past Fundora before any of this we're about to talk about has any relevance. We've seen this happen in boxing time and time again when fighters look past the task at hand and they get upset. So we must approach this fight, if we're Team Tszyu, with the most caution, and you know they're going to be crossing their T's and dotting their I's. This weekend, Tszyu fights Fundora for the WBC and WBO super welterweight title. Now, we've been seeing the headlines and news and speculation from guys like myself all over the internet since last July about a potential clash at 154 between Tszyu and Crawford. We know Bud, we know his resume, and recently, a few days back, Tim Tszyu's manager, who was also his father's manager, Glenn Jennings, gave an interview to give us some credibility on the speculation, saying that the negotiations between Tszyu and Crawford have been ongoing for a meeting at 154. Tszyu must get past Fundora for that to come to fruition. Now, what we're going to do today with the statistics, we will individually break down Tim Tszyu and Bud Crawford's last 5 fights. We'll add up their opponents' win-loss record on the night that they fought the fighter, and we're going to come up with a strength of schedule. And before we break this down, if you've seen any of the videos that I've done like this, you'll know that both Tszyu and Crawford have a high strength of schedule. I'll tag a couple of those videos in this one if you haven't watched those yet. Also, when we talk about some statistics about Tim Tszyu that we already know about, Tim is 24-0 with 17 knockouts. He has a career 70% knockout to win ratio. He is ranked number 1 super welterweight in the world. He's 29 years old and stands at 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. He is an orthodox, come-forward pressure fighter. We know that he is the champion at 154, and like I said, he is taking on Fundora for 2 of those belts this weekend. We're going to rewind the clock for Tszyu's career 5 fights ago, in which he fought Inoue. Going into that fight, Inoue was 17-1, UD in the 12th. Gausha, 22-2, UD in the 12th. Harrison, 29-3, knockout in the 9th. Ocampo, 35-2, knockout in the 1st. Mendoza, 22-2, UD in the 12th. If we add up Tszyu's opponent's win-loss record on the night that they fought Tim, that equates to 125 wins and 10 losses, giving Tszyu a 93% strength of schedule. At this stage in the game, every fight that Tszyu is going to be fighting will be his biggest fight with his stiffest competition. Let's turn the page quickly and look at Bud Crawford. Some of the statistics that everybody knows. He is 40-0. 31 knockouts, which gives him a 78% knockout to win ratio. He is ranked number 1 welterweight in the world. He's 36 years old, standing at 5'8" with a 74-inch reach. He is a southpaw fighter. We know he's been undisputed at 140. He's been undisputed at 147, and it looks like this is the quickest route for Crawford to become undisputed in 3 different weight classes, fighting Tszyu at 54. When we rewind the clock in Bud Crawford's career and go back 5 fights ago, he fought Mean Machine, who was 21-0, knockout in the 9th. Kell Brook, 39-2, knockout in the 4th. Sean Porter, 31-3, knockout in the 10th. David Evanesian, 29-3, knockout in the 6th. Errol Spence Jr., 28-0, knockout in the 9th. Let's grab our calculators, add up Bud Crawford's opponent's win-loss record on the night that they fought Bud. That equates to 148 wins with only 8 losses, giving Crawford a 95% strength of schedule. When I'm breaking down both fighters, guys, some of the things I look at, we have to talk about the age. Bud Crawford isn't getting any younger. When we talk about fighters' primes, mid to late 20s, with medicine and the advent and the advancement of sports science and sports conditioning, even early 30s, you see fighters progressing into the prime. Crawford seems to be the best version he's ever looked, but by the time this fight happens, if it does happen, Bud will be closer to 37. Tszyu, like I said, is only 29. Let's talk about some of the size. Tszyu is the naturally bigger guy than Bud Crawford. He's taller than him by an inch. Rumors is Bud walks around 180, Tszyu the same. When we're looking at the reach, a classic orthodox versus southpaw fighter, Bud Crawford will have that advantage. He'll have a 4-inch reach advantage with a 74-inch reach compared to Tim's 70. Both guys are undefeated. Both guys are class acts. Bud Crawford will be the guy moving up to 54, having never fought at 54. And guys, it looks like that he's not going to take a tune-up fight, that his next fight, if Tim beats Fedor this weekend, will be Tszyu at 154. There's rumors saying that they're going to come down here to Sydney, Australia, and pack a football stadium. I was in the comments section earlier in our boxing group on Facebook, answering a question from a fan about why would an American fighter come down to Australia? And I told them, I said, because the T-Mobile Arena sits about 20,000. I was at the Tszyu Harrison fight in Sydney, which sat 80,000. Tim Tszyu packs football stadiums. Tszyu finishes his business and takes care of it this weekend against Fedor. Expect an international super fight at 154 between Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford. One last question is up to you guys. If this fight goes down, which side are you on? Team Tszyu or Team Crawford? Let me know in the comment section below.